The next concept with the fractions that we want to look at is how to multiply fractions. Multiplying fractions can be fairly straightforward. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerator times the numerator, denominator times the denominator. So if you can multiply regular numbers, you can multiply fractions. The first one, 3/7 times 2/5. Numerator times numerator is 6. Denominator times denominator is 35. So that multiplies to 6/35. I checked to see if it can be reduced, and I don't see any factors of 6. There are also factors of 35. So that number is reduced. 5 times 7/12. Wait a minute, there's no denominator in that 5. What do I do? Well, we can continue on the problem if we remember or if we realize that every number that does not have a denominator, a number on the bottom, is a 1. It's an understood 1. So now I do have a denominator. 5 times 7 is 35. 1 times a 12 is a 12. So I was able to multiply those fractions. Check to see if I can reduce them. Is there any numbers or factors in the top that are factors in the bottom? There's not. And it doesn't matter because it is in improper form. That is fine. The second number, 2/3 times 9/4. 18 times a 12, or 3 times a 4 is a 12 on the denominator. There. But in this one, there does appear to be some factors in the top that are consistent with factors in the bottom, or the denominator. So I can rewrite this as 6 times a 3 over 6 times a 2. And in so doing, I see that I have a 6 over a 6, or a clever version of 1. So I'm left with 3/2. And this last number, 3 1/2 times 1 1/4, yikes. When it's in mixed number form, it's not too easy to do. So the first thing I need to do is change it to an improper fraction. So 3 1/2 is 7/2 times 1 1/4, that's 5/4. And now I can multiply. Top times top, bottom times bottom. And that's 35 over 8. So there I was able to go ahead and multiply those two fractions out. One last thing that some of you might have been saying on that third example. In this example right here, there's a little bit of a shortcut that some of you may have learned. And it's not a shortcut, it's just understanding some math. And the shortcut is that I can see that there's a 3 on one side down here, there's a 9 on the top side. Those are factors of each other. So I can cancel out one of these 3's and cancel out one of those 3's. So I'm left with a 3. And likewise, a 2 and a 4, I can cancel out one of those 2's and left with a 1, and cancel out one of those 2's and left with a 2. So now I have a 1 times a 3 over a 1 times a 2, which is 3/2. Well, essentially what you're doing is you're writing 2 times 9 over 1 times, over 3 times 4. Well, that's 2 times 3 over 3 times 2 times 2. And now there's just several different versions of 1. There's a clever version of 1. There's a clever version of 1. All that's left is 3/2. So you're canceling out, but you're canceling out because you understand some of the mathematical properties underneath the hood.